Okay, so to determine the number of protons, neutrons, and electrons for an isotope, the first thing is you're going to need a periodic table. And so I did give you a link to this periodic table in your classroom assignment, but if not, you can just open up a new tab or window and go to ptable.com, and that is an interactive periodic table. It's the one that I'm going to be using and showing you right now. So this periodic table over here on the right side of my screen, whenever you kind of hover over or click on an element, it pulls it up in the box. Let me make this full screen. So if I hover over an element, it will pull it up over on the left side and tell me lots of different things about that particular element. So it'll tell me the name, its state of matter, its weight, energy levels, like just a bunch of stuff that we don't necessarily need for this activity, but just to be aware of it. So when we're calculating protons, neutrons, and electrons for an isotope, we first need to look up that element because we need to know its atomic number. So carbon-12, the name carbon-12 means that it is carbon and it has a mass number of 12. And so because it is carbon, I can look at the periodic table and see its atomic number, which is the top number, the little number, that tells me how many protons it has. And so its atomic number is 6, so carbon-12 has 6 protons. Now, we will skip down to the electrons. The protons and electrons are going to be equal for all of these because we are not talking about ions yet. And so if I have a neutral atom, meaning its charge is 0, if my neutral atom has 6 protons, 6 pluses, then how many minuses does it have to have a charge of 0? So if I have the number 6, how many negatives would I have to add to get a charge of 0? I'd have to have -6. And so we have 6 pluses and 6 minuses gives us a neutral atom. And that's what we're dealing with on all of these. So your number of protons and your number of electrons will always be whatever that atomic number is. Okay. And then so for carbon-12, we have a mass number of 12 because that's what it tells us in the name. And so to find the number of neutrons, I'm going to do man. Man, M-A-N. Mass minus atomic equals neutrons. Man. Mass minus atomic equals neutrons. Say it with me. Man. Mass minus atomic equals neutrons. So you're going to do the mass number, which for this one is 12, minus the atomic number, which was 6, to give us the number of neutrons. So 12 minus 6 is 6. So carbon-12 has 6 protons, 6 neutrons, 6 electrons. Carbon-16, it is still carbon, so we are going to find carbon on the periodic table again. Its atomic number is 6, and so that means that it has 6 protons. Because it has 6 protons, that means it has 6 electrons. And then we are going to do man, mass minus atomic equals neutrons. So for carbon-16, the mass number is 16. The atomic number was 6. So we do 16 minus 6 gives us 10 neutrons. Now your assignment is going to look a little bit different than this one that I have been showing you on the screen, but it's the same exact idea. You're doing the same process. Let's look at another one. Chromium. Let's find chromium on the periodic table, and you guys get to see how. Here we go. Okay. So chromium. First thing I need to do is find chromium on the periodic table, and I see that chromium has an atomic number of 24. So it means it has 24 protons. Because it has 24 protons, it has 24 electrons. And then I'm going to do mass minus atomic equals neutrons. So 58 minus 24 is 34. Right? 58 minus 24, 34 neutrons. Chromium 63, it is still chromium. And so because it's chromium, it has a atomic number of 24. So 24 protons. Because it has 24 protons, it has 24 electrons. And then we're going to do mass minus atomic equals neutrons. 63 minus 24. And Miss Little is a terrible, not science. Hopefully I'm not terrible at science. I'm terrible at math, so I'm going to use my calculator. 63 minus 24. So mass minus atomic number equals 39. So we have 39 neutrons. Okay, so hopefully this will help you to figure out the protons, neutrons, and electrons for any of the isotopes that you see on your assignment. If not, you can always ask questions, send them in a comment, or get with your teacher to figure out a time for a Google Meet.